Switching over to, oh. What's up, guys? It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. Thursday, August 26th, 2021 AD. Anno Domini. Don't forget, just pulling up my Periscope. I'm live on Twitch, Facebook, D-Live, YouTube, Twitter Periscope thing. Twitter made Periscope inferior. Isn't that always the way? It's kind of like when Microsoft buys stuff and they make stuff inferior. They made Skype terrible. And Zoom took over. Losers. And Trovo.live/The Hake Report. Thank you to Asmodor hosting the show there. Hey guys, I have another Johnny Respect song for you. Hope you like it. I know you might not, but that's all right. Playing it anyway. This is a track called Displace the Blame from their 1999 Christian punk rock rockabilly album, Life Ain't What It Used to Be. Enjoy Johnny Respect. I know I will, but take heart. It is nice and short, and I'll walk you through it, guys. Here's Johnny Respect. From Bulletproof Music, a division of Grey Dot, if they're still in existence. Displace the Blame is the name of this song. I will get to your calls too, guys. So good. Disney Channel music circa 2001. That's right, this came out in 98. We're ahead of the time. Thank you, Earl's Ghost. Earl's Ghost. Punk for non-punks. Congrats. Yeah, I know. It's pop punk. But I like it. I don't really understand the lyrics. The meaning has to do with a strained relationship, I gather. Friendship, maybe. Hypocrisy. Puppy music, says Momo. Wow. I was really into this pop punk stuff. And actual punk rock, too. Christian, though. As a high schooler. And right after. Thank you guys for bearing with me through that. I like your VODs because I can skip this part. What's VODs? But thank you, Chabo. Anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh.
doing? I am fine. Did you enjoy the debate last night? Or was it a debate? The discussion on Modern Day Debate? I appeared on Modern Day Debate last night. Shout out to Modern Day Debates. James Kuntz. Excellent channel, YouTube channel. Jason Lee Peterson has appeared on that. And by the way, thank you guys for the feedback on my beautiful music. I think I'm banned right now. Anyone see this? Asks Carol D. I don't know if you are or aren't, but it got through onto the restream chat that I'm looking at. Pop Punk Junk, says Colin Barrett. I saw some other comments. Let me see if I screenshotted them. Ones that I wanted to get to. Do y'all love white music? Asks OD Red Skull. Oh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I have sinned. Buffy says, don't talk during the guitar solo, Hake. Man, first I had to learn not to talk during the lyrics. Now I have to learn not to talk during the guitar solo, which is lyrical. Did you know that music can be lyrical without having words? I've heard it described that way before. So thank you, man or woman. I apologize. Hake, did you see the mess at Kabul airport? I heard that there were, according to NBC so-called news, 2 explosions outside the Kabul airport, leaving U.S. and civilian casualties. I think it was like 3 U.S. soldiers got hurt by this attack. I don't know who did it. I doubt that it was the Taliban, but it might have been the Taliban. People claim that the Taliban are a terrorist group, and I think maybe they are, who knows? But now that they're the government, they can't be terrorists, right? Terrorism is supposedly defined, it's kind of like an ism, as violence, politically motivated violence. And yeah, it's also supposed to put terror in a community, right? Violence toward political ends. But isn't that the same thing as like regular wars? Regular wars are for power. There is something called like guerrilla warfare. It does seem cheap and evil and messed up to target civilian populations, innocent people, so-called, right? But I don't know what they are, but they are a bunch of Muslims. What a mess. But yeah, I did hear about U.S. citizens are being warned to stay away now from the airport. I heard that the Taliban was trying to protect the American citizens so that they get out, and so the Taliban can just do whatever they want. Whatever. They call us terrorists too, says Dresden. So, yeah. Terrorism has a new definition. Yeah. So, I mean, it's good versus evil, and the people who are fighting the war on terror are a bunch of evil people too. So it's evil versus evil. What a mess. There is one line open right now. By the way, the DOD, speaking of evil and the so-called American government, anti-American American government, is oppressing our own soldiers. Did you hear my Hake News segment on the, what's that guy's name? Lloyd Austin, the affirmative action black defense secretary. I call him affirmative action because he's not 7 years out of the military like he's supposed to be, according to the rules. He is a sleaze. He's black and liberal and goose-stepping. Is goose-stepping the right word? I don't know. He's right in line with the LGBTIQ, BLM, DNC, MSLSD, MSDNC, CNN mess. He's a phony. He's a shallow person and not qualified, but the Senate, I believe it's the Senate that approves Sleepy Joe Biden's nominees to head the different departments in the executive branch. I guess the DOD is part of that. And they approved it because they're a bunch of rhinos and Democrats, which embarrassing to be a Democrat and a rhino. And so he's forcing the so-called vaccinations on the people. There are some people in the government who are at least acting like they're fighting for us, for we the people, who are saying, what is this FDA approval of the Pfizer vaccine within less than a year of its creation? much less emergency use authorization. What is that? It seems politically motivated. That's what some people say. And I suspect that that person is right. I think that might have been this one guy named Thomas Massey, but I could be wrong because Thomas Massey, his statement for my taste, it was a bit on the weak side. Even though I like him and I agree with him, he said, why force the vaccine on young members of the military, which is what Sleepy Joe and this Lloyd Austin want to do. Why force it on young members of the military? He should have just left it at that because young members of the military are not at risk for the most part from this virus, right? But he went on, who have natural immunity due to a prior infection. That's another aspect of it, yeah. If you've been prior infected, I know one person who was infected twice. I know of one person, I think, according to her fiance. Called into the show, said, oh, she was infected twice because she was helping out before the vaccine, the so-called vaccine, was even created. And she was testing people, she caught it. A nurse type of a person or medic or paramedic or whatever. But yeah, if you've got it before, then you're as good as vaccinated. But then if you get vaccinated on top of that, Fauci says, you're even more protected. But people who've had it already also have possibly more risks from taking the vaccine. So I don't know, it's a big toss-up. And this thing is untested, and what's the rush? The rush is control freakish, female-minded spirit, evil spirit. So he's Thomas Massey is one of 31 House members who introduced a bill back in June to bar the Secretary of Defense from mandating the pro-commie vaccines. But now that the FDA has so-called approved it, I don't know. Hopefully they can still fight for the decent people in the military are some of our best people, maybe, or at least it used to be, like the men. But now they're making it uncomfortable for the men to be there. They're trying to purge the men, honestly. Purge the whites, some of the white men. The southern white men are some of the best military members that we've had. I'm seeing you guys' feedback. Thank you on the debate thing. I'll get to that. But there are people on the other side, including so-called Republicans who are for this. Don Bacon, I told you guys during Hake News. Lines are full, guys. Lines are full. I will get to you. Representative Don Bacon, a so-called Republican from Nebraska, said on C-SPAN, we can't have a large percentage of forces unable to deploy because they're sick. As if they would get that sick from this thing. And anyways, when you take the so-called vaccine, you're also introducing sickness into your body. Like it's designed to make you sick. Like the sicker you get, the better, one person told a friend of mine. Oh, you're supposed to get sick, for a day or two. You're supposed to be out for a day or two. So get it on a Friday so you're sick all week and then you're back ready to go to work on Monday is the idea. There's, of course, a Democrat, Seth Moulton, Moulton, a Democrat from Massachusetts, said this, meaning the forced vaccinations on soldiers who are otherwise healthy and not at risk from this, is the right thing to do for our public health and national security. There are a lot of secretaries of the different departments, the Navy, I think, the Army, the Marines, who are fat and politicians, and these generals are a bunch of backstabbers. I've learned, many of you probably already knew this, they're not on board with Trump. When Trump was putting in position, our real President Trump when 2017 he took office, he was appointing all these men. Oh, these look like manly men. Mad Dog Mattis. Total phony SJW kiss up to BLM. All these phonies. And they turned out to be cucks. Betraying what's right in favor of what's evil. Embarrassing. Cowards. Pathetic. Supposedly, 68% of the active duty military force, including National Guard and Reserve, have been, quote-unquote, fully vaccinated from the Chinese/communist virus, and the vaccine mandates are communist, really. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said that Another 8% have had one dose. But listen to this. I said this in Hake News. This is so funny to me. But it bears repeating. 40% of the Army, only 40% of the Army has been vaccinated. Because Army is usually like men. Well, this is my reasoning for why. And 73% of the Navy has been so-called vaccinated. And I said that's because there are a bunch of gays and females in the Navy. No offense, Navy men. But seriously, like 9% of the Navy is supposedly LGBT, according to the globalist RAND Corporation, right? RAND. Sexual orientation. And like 19% of, according to diversity.defense.gov, that's an actual government website. Disgusting. Diversity.defense.gov. Sick. 19% of the Navy are females, supposedly. 19%. And that was as of 2016. Maybe it's even worse now. Man. So anyway. Oh, this is important. I mentioned this in Hake News. I know a lot of you guys actually do have to deal with this type of stuff. And again, like I said during Hake News, I neither condemn this nor endorse this, but I'm just putting it out there just so you know. Be aware of it. This could be extremism. News.gab.com on July 29th, 2021. You scroll down to find the July 29th, 2021, maybe second page or so if you're on a browser, laptop browser. Important downloads of COVID-19 vaccine religious exemption documents. Links, PDF forms, Word documents, take your pick. There. It's all laid out. May be a little bit of extra reading more than you're used to, but it includes for the military. Well, more than I'm used to, definitely. I look at them like my eyes glaze over. So, including military exemptions, including some of the different branches, maybe all of them. And news.gab.com on August 24th, more recently, a couple days ago, also shared a vax mandate religious exemption template for college students. So I know a lot of you guys may want to look into that. Again, I don't endorse it, nor can I condemn it. So, just FYI, I will be posting that into the Hake News post of today's Hake News section of my website. It will be coming up after the show ends. Hake News is at the end of the first and second hours of the Jesse Lee Peterson show, Monday through Friday. Nice, right? So anyway, real quick, speaking of the DOD, okay? And then I will get to calls and I'll tell you about the modern day debate thing. I saw this from one Jack Carr, C-A-R-R, on Twitter. And he said something that I did not know. And some of you historians, real historians, in the chat may have already known this, and boomers and Gen X and millennials and Zoomers who actually read. But he said, why do I think it's time to change the name of the Department of Defense back to the War Department, which it was called from 1789 to 1947? Wow, I did not know this. And so he says, check out my latest opinion piece on townhall.com to find out. He also said, Admiral Arleigh Burke, I believe that was a man, if I'm not mistaken, sounds familiar, said, the first thing that a commander must learn is not to tolerate incompetence. Think we should continue to promote senior level military leaders the way we have over the past 20 years, he asks. And so he shares an article on Town Hall. Time for a bold adjustment. Fire the generals. But I did not know that the Department of Defense is a politically correct sanitization of what they really are. The War Department. And they were called that from 1789 to 1947. Isn't that so interesting? I guess if they were called the War Department, then what we've been doing would be called war, and then we would have to go back to Congress, which is supposed to grant the war powers, or something like that. But no, we just put it all to the executive branch, and it's the deep state and the phony politicians who become the presidents, except for our real president, Donald J. Trump, whom I don't think is a phony politician. He was pretty genuine. More so than anybody who's smearing the guy. Jefferson Davis was the Secretary of War before he was President of the Confederacy, according to Asmodor, who is one of our resident historians. Wow. And I bet he was a better man than most of us and anybody who is a hater of the Confederacy or anybody who's a hater of the South, calling them traitors and losers. Those are enemies of America, enemies of the unity of America. They're even enemies, honestly, of the people who were forcing the South to stay in America because they wanted America to be united. And the people who are calling the South losers, they are enemies of America because they are for the division. Divide and conquer. He was the Secretary of War during the Mexican War, which we won handily. Yeah, back when we fought to win. We didn't just so-called fight patty cake to stay and be everybody's mama. Pathetic. So anyway, I did post a blog post on my appearance on Modern Day Debate. You can check it out. I put it out yesterday. It's in the blog section of thehakereport.com. It's also in, if you go to my About page and you scroll down to the posts, the blog posts, you see a bunch of my appearances. Maybe I'll have to figure out, like, Hake's appearances. I haven't had a ton, but I've appeared on Asmodor's show. I've appeared on The Realist Report. I've appeared on Richard Spencer's show. None of those are on YouTube because Richard Spencer was kicked off of YouTube afterwards, and those other two are, like, censored by YouTube. YouTube is supposed to be an American website, but they don't believe in the freedom of speech. So most of my appearances are not on YouTube. But I do have a couple of there. I believe I've appeared twice on Samuel the Swede's channel, but I could only find the most recent one. And then, of course, the appearance on Modern Day Debate yesterday. Modern Day Debate YouTube channel. Thank you to Jesse Lee Peterson for allowing me to be on your network. I appreciate it. And the team making it happen. Thank you to producer Nicolas Gonzalez, who connected me in the studio last night. Thank you for staying here, man. Thank you to Modern Day Debate's James Kuntz and opponent Brent Langell. Nice. And the people who watched and supported and all that stuff. I got feedback, great feedback from one of the guys, Doug, over here, who had constructive criticism on how the debate went. Yeah, it was cool because he said, you know, there were a lot of like stories that my opponent went on. He went kind of off track, and I let him drone on a little too long, and the moderator let him drone on because the moderator had to deal with other stuff too. And he couldn't even tell that it was a debate about Black Lives Matter at multiple points. So thank you for that constructive criticism, man. And thank you for the super chats. There's already been some super chats. Based AF, Based America First is what AF stands for in Based AF. Don't get your mind out of the gutter. It really means Based America First. Says, great debate. Kudos to Brent Langell. That was my opponent. He called himself an anarchist. He was hesitant to call himself a communist, which I was asking him if he was. Kudos to Brent Langell for not being unhinged. Was his point that BLM has done more good for the black community because Nixon enforced laws 50 years ago? Interesting question. Based AF gave another super chat and said his systemic racism argument seemed more like a reason of why BLM would exist and not why looting and burning of cities last summer was a net positive for the black community. Great point, man. Great point. That's clarity. Did he say BLM never murdered anybody? I thought over 30 people died. Yes, indeed. Over 30 people died, I heard, just in the recent summer riots. Not to mention the ones from several years ago under the Obama administration, so-called administration. Very true. And you ever heard of the Ferguson effect? Blacks killing blacks has killed way more people than the lynchings that took place back when men of the community were enforcing the laws. And sometimes they didn't try them in court, right? Sometimes the guys got overamped and went overboard, I hear, right? According to NAACP propaganda. But I think there's some truth to it, probably. People, violence on many sides, very fine people, maybe on both sides. I don't know. But yeah, and like black on black crime to this day is murdering far more blacks than cops are not even murdering blacks for the most part. Can't even think of a real example. Murder with an asterisk for that guy, for Georgia, Florida. That was not murder. But it's a tortured definition. It's a twisting of the laws. Lawyers are liars. And think about it. St. Louis, Missouri, talking about Georgia, Florida's death after he got the knee on the neck. He was overdosing. He was out of control. The guy who's the so-called attorney general is a SJW Muslim Antifa supporter, light-skinned black radical named Keith Ellison. And he was in the court specifically when, the whole time during this trial. He's the one who should be in jail. He's a corrupt person. He shouldn't even be in America. But if he's in America, he should be in prison because he's a sleazy person, a liar, and an evil person, just evil. Keith Ellison, disgusting. His son, too, also, his son called himself Antifa. Antifa being the communists who don't even want America to exist and who smear and attack real Americans. So that's gross. Anyway, yeah, thank you. TheHakeReport.com. You can, up at the top, you can see the YouTube video. And later on, I believe Modern Day Debate will upload it to an audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Cool, huh? Anyway, let me get to Killian in Boston, Massachusetts. I think he wants to talk about one of the explosions, at least, by the Kabul airport, I think. Killian, thanks for calling, man. Thanks for holding. What's up?
Guten Morgen, mein Kameraden.
Hey, guten Morgen. Guten Morgen.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the violence that's currently ongoing over in Afghaniland.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, they had a terrorist suicide bombing at the gate at the airport, and then there was some gunfire. They killed a bunch of Marines, and then they told all
U.S.
the Americans
Marines?
Huh?
Killed U.S. Marines?
Yeah.
Killed?
Yeah.
Whoa. I did not know that.
They told all the civilians that are waiting to get evacuated to go gather at the hospital. They just had another suicide attack.
Are you sure?
No, not at the hospital, the hotel.
Are you sure that they were killed? I see 5 hours ago, Kabul airport attack, at least 2 dead, 15 wounded, including 3 U.S. Marines. 3 U.S. Marines injured as explosions near Kabul airport result in multiple casualties. But were they killed? Or you're saying they were killed?
Well, that's what I heard.
Okay. I see among the injured, but I don't know.
But more recently, you'll probably hear this coming out in a couple hours because it's being reported only by Turkish news right now. But all the Americans were told to go gather at a hotel nearby the airport, and there was another suicide bombing there.
Wow. Yeah, I did hear about 2 explosions. It's crazy. So it's suicide. Some people call them homicide bombings because, the suicide advocates, the people who promote committing suicide and being depressed and stuff like that, they want to take away the stigma of committing suicide. Evil, huh?
Oh, all right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, welcome to clown world.
Yeah. So
Old
evil.
Sleepy Joe gave a statement. He came out and he said, attacks at the Kabul airport. He said, come on, man, take the vaccine.
Yeah. No, casualties, somebody says casualties equals killed Hake. And I look up casualties define. Casualty, a person killed or injured in a war or accident. I know that the dictionary is fake news, though, so I'm suspending judgment. What did Sleepy Joe say?
Came up with that word. What's so casual about it?
I don't know.
I guess it's like to downplay it, I suppose, back in like the Napoleonic War days when like you'd have hundreds of casualties. They just they didn't want people to like get scared or something.
Okay, so I'm looking it up on the enemy of America, the evil Google, and it says origin medieval Latin casualis, English casual, English penalty. I don't know. And then they say late Middle English in the sense a chance occurrence. And it's on the pattern of words such as penalty. I don't know.
Yeah. It always just struck me as odd.
It is odd. I never understood it either. I just accepted it blindly.
So you think old Sleepy Joe's gonna bring us back into the war?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what they're gearing up the weekend narrative for. How we have to go back.
I don't see it happening, but I've been shocked before, so we'll see. Wait and see, man.
If you stand back and look at it from a distance, this whole situation, Joe Biden, his biggest donors are of the billionaire class who make money off of war. And what would be the best strategy if you wanted to cancel this pullout? Just fumble the evacuation as best as you can, and then pull at people's heartstrings and be like, "Oh, we need to go in and save all these women and children."
You'd accuse them of WMDs or weapons of mass destruction, or
why would they
biological
leave
warfare.
all the equipment for the Taliban to take?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's just a little suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yep. It is suspicious, and the people who are attacking the so-called liberals, the liberals who are attacking Joe Biden over him pulling out of Afghanistan, they are totally misguided.
Oh yeah, they're coming from the angle that we need to go over there to protect women's rights.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The Taliban are protecting the women. They said, "Stay home because our soldiers are not trained to respect you." That's one headline that I heard, and I'm fine with that. Stay home. You're better off there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah,
I saw one Taliban Twitter account. He was trolling Joe Biden. He said, "Oh, you want to come over here to protect the women? Well, we need to go over to America to protect the men
and the women, because the women are miserable here."
Yeah.
So yeah.
They're the
but that's true.
In history, but yes, they're the most miserable they've ever been.
Yep.
What a paradox.
Yeah. That's why you don't give women. You don't try to appease people because they're never happy, especially women.
We need to end women's suffrage because
yes,
there's enough. No.
It's caused their suffrage has caused much suffering and death.
That's another word that I always thought was kind of funny. Suffered. It was aptly named, though. Aptly selected.
Yeah.
As the term. But speaking of women's suffrage, I just wanted to pipe in one quick side note.
Okay.
On Jesse's show, he was talking about how OnlyFans is banning all the online prostitution.
Yeah, they were going to,
Yeah, they flipped. They went back on it. They
I
said,
know.
No, we're going to allow it.
Yep.
Jesse was so excited about that, too. He's like, see what happens when you get together and make a petition? You can make things happen.
Yeah.
Now, they went back on it.
I know. It's so ridiculous.
Let Jesse know about it.
You know what I told him? I did tell him. I said, so Jesse, the story goes, last week, OnlyFans said, we're going to get rid of pornography. We're not going to support pornography on our website. We're not going to allow it. And then yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, I don't know, they decided, oh, no, we're going to allow pornography on our website.
Yeah.
Because
they got everyone all in a big fuss about it, and then they're like, "Nah, we'll just go back to it."
yeah, I mean
That's where they make most of their money.
right. It's all about ill-gotten gain on the part of the evil females who participate in it, and the evil OnlyFans company that allows it, and the evil culture is so corrupt that they're accepting evil is fine. So I have a whole report about it from the far left female-run outlet, The Skim, that I'll read to you guys. But you're right, man. I'm glad that you caught that.
Yeah, it's funny. The Stone Toss comic, where it has a woman holding up a sign saying "sex work is real work."
Yeah.
And then in the next comic, it has a picture of a guy wearing a big IRS badge, dressed as a pimp. He's like, "Bitch, better have my money."
Yep. That's very apt. Very apt.
So I think the powers that be support this whole OnlyFans thing.
Yeah.
They're actually getting money off the prostitution instead of.
I first heard the news on the TKR, the crypto report, TKR official Telegram. Some of these people are banned on their on Twitter and stuff like that. And Asmodor over in Trovo says likely the banks were worried about the underage users and the women using it as an electronic payment platform for in real life prostitution. And not that they were worried about the women and the girls, not that they have any love for the women and the girls, but they didn't want to get dinged for that because that's bad PR, and two, things are against the law right now. And so they worked out a way to indemnify them. So, wash their hands about it. Oh, not my fault. Wasn't me. I didn't know. Because the problem the banks had was not processing. The banks were not processing OnlyFans payments. They were worried about payments to creators. So, yeah. I think that's...
Yeah, it's either... the banks, they either go after crypto payments.
Yep.
By saying it's going to hurt children, or evil drug traffickers are using it.
Yeah. And you know what else the banks are doing? They're going after the gun manufacturers, gun sales, anything gun industry related. They're lumping that in with drugs and sex too. So
yeah, they have a lot of different angles going after the guns. They want to say that they can't have bank accounts.
Yep.
B, they want to increase taxes on ammunition.
Yep.
Because they just banned all imports of ammunition from Russia, which Russia actually produces like a lot of really cheap and reliable ammunition.
Nice.
Because of their old Soviet factories.
That's cool.
And then lastly, they want to make everyone that owns a gun have gun insurance in case you kill someone.
Yeah.
You have to insure your gun like you insured the car.
Yep. That is so evil.
It is evil.
Yep.
People just need to learn to become ungovernable. Just ignore it.
Well, I endorse following the law as much as you can. I'm a good YouTuber, Twitter user.
Oh, I know.
But you do have to.
You can wink at me in the video if you want.
You do have to assert your rights. These are basic rights that these people are violating because of the scum of the earth. They're.
I mean, you don't want to become Australia. You see what's going on in Australia?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I haven't really seen a lot, but
it's literally 1984. Like
it's
you're
crazy.
Not allowed to go walk outside by yourself.
And they have this stupid...
the cops will stop you and ask you if you have a good reason to be outside.
And this is all over this stupid, impossible goal of zero COVID infections, right? China virus infections?
It's never going to happen.
I know.
It's endemic.
Yep.
It's not a pandemic. It's endemic. It's always going to be with us for the rest of the time.
That's what many...
It's like the flu. They had all these flu vaccines.
Yep.
What happened to the flu? It's still around.
Yep.
Guess what?
It's here to stay. And that's what many experts are saying. Many valid, mainstream experts are saying. Not that I need to trust experts to know that it's true, but you're not the only one saying that. So it's a mess.
I stopped calling it the coronavirus. I call it the political virus.
Yeah, I call it the commie virus sometimes.
Yeah.
Because
virus.
the communists are using it to spread their communism. They're using it to spread their power and control, and it's insanity and fear and lies and hatred and judgment
the pharmaceutical companies are making billions and billions of dollars off of selling this poison.
Yeah. And they're dividing and conquering the people. They're dividing the people, and the suckers there are many pro-vax suckers who are judging the people who have not gotten the vaccine or holding off or don't want to get it. And then there are some anti-vaxxers whom I generally support their rights, who are hating the people who are pro-vaccine. And you don't want to hate. You want to just tell the truth.
Their logic. They say you need to get the vaccine because if you don't, I might get the virus that I'm vaccinated against.
Right. What a mess. Political virus.
What do you think about,
I like that.
The military being forced to have all these vaccines?
I think that's so evil. That's what you get when you fair and square elect Joe Biden.
I remember back when I was in the military, during the swine flu pandemic, they were trying to, it was like round one, they were trying to do a test of this whole, what they have now with the COVID. And they said, everyone has to get the swine flu vaccine.
Wow.
And I told them, I'm not taking it. And they said, you have to. It's a lawful order. And I said, well, go get the captain of the ship and have him kick me out of the Navy.
Uh-huh.
And the corpsman who was supposed to give me the shot, he's just like, screw it. And he just checked me off that I got it. And he said, yeah, you got it.
Nice.
He didn't want to deal with it. I just called his bluff.
Right. That's cool, man. I like that story. There are ways to beat it.
Yeah, and everyone's saying, oh, if you go and print up your own COVID vaccine card, it's illegal.
It is, and the FBI warned against it because the FBI are a bunch of liberal babysitters.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about the FBI is they're getting more and more diverse, which means they're going to be less and less effective.
Right, yeah, they're not going to be very, what is that word? Competent.
Yeah, as the diversity goes up, the competency goes down.
Yeah. Pretty funny, man.
But yeah, you can basically go to your doctor and just hand them like a $50 bill and be like, just fill out the card and say that I got it.
Right. And Captain Red Skull says, asks the Hake Report, be obedient to the laws of the land to a fault? No, man, not to a fault. Be wise. Be wise. But you're led by the Holy Spirit. And you have wisdom.
As America is more and more becoming a third world country, people need to realize that bribery works.
I call it, isn't it called second world when it turns communist? Isn't it second world communist? Well, I mean, what's the difference, really?
Well, I mean, in the popular parlance of today.
Yeah, true. Third world. It works.
I mean, yeah, technically during the Cold War, you had the first world, the second world, and the third world.
Yeah.
But in the, terms, they evolve over time in the popular parlance, third world. You know what it means. I do. We have third world people, and we're raising people to have third world mindset. Yeah. And everyone jumped on Trump when he said people from S-hole countries are coming here.
They can't take the truth. And I don't even know that Trump actually said that. He was just reputed to have said that. And he wasn't wrong if he did. He was right.
No. Well,
anyway, Killian, I appreciate it.
At least the Supreme Court ruled that Remain in Mexico policy can stay.
I like that. I'm happy about that. Well, take care, Killian.
I know I talked about a million different things. Happy Men's History Month.
You as well.
And I want to say happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to, what's his name, Sparkly Shirt.
Okay, to Nick's Sparkly Shirt.
We're going to keep those two memes running.
Nice. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well. Wow. Fred, a first-time caller in Maryland, has been on hold forever. He wants to talk about last night's debate. Fred, thank you for calling and holding. What's up?
Hey, Hake, how are you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. I saw your debate last night. I just wanted to comment on it briefly and let you know that I think you did a great job. I think the other guy didn't really have an argument. He just kind of tried to overtalk you most of the time.
Yeah.
The moderator honestly let him go on and on.
Yeah.
But you were making great points, logical points, common sense points, and he was going back and forth to like Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan. And
Yeah. That's true. He just spouted off a bunch of knowledge and personal experience that didn't really have much to do with anything. That's a fair point. I would like to talk with him more, maybe invite him on my show to see like why he's like that.
He did seem like a nice fellow. I mean, he didn't seem like he had ill will or bad intentions. He seemed kind of confused himself.
Yeah.
But like you were mentioning, I think that's the beauty of yourself and Jesse's message is that it kind of deals with, I liked it, especially when you said, like, it doesn't matter, you know, what kind of policies they put in place, but if you don't deal with the real issues, it's just going to come full circle. It's going to come right back to the same problems.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take up too much of your time. Just wanted to comment on that and say thank you to yourself and the whole JLP crew. Definitely changed my life. Over the winter time, I came and visited you guys in LA in church a few times.
Nice.
And I hope to see you guys soon again this coming winter.
That sounds great, man. Well, thank you,
Fred.
Fred.
Out to the you're welcome. Shout out to the JLP live chat. This is Fresh Prince for everybody.
Nice.
Right. Thanks, Nick.
All right, Fred. Take care, man.
Take care.
Yeah, I really liked how Brent Langel, Lengel, I think he pronounces it Langel, wanted to understand why I said some of the things that I said. He tried to reflect back reasoning behind some of the statements that I would make and justify some of it. So that was cool. He's Buddhist, even though I guess he's white. And thank you guys for the feedback, too. You won the debate last night, hands down, says Asmodor. Thank you, man. Somebody said James committed murder last night. Because it's just a slang for I whooped him in the debate. Yeah, shout out to Fred, Fresh Prince in Maryland. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. And thanks for holding and calling in. Let me talk with Liana in Florida. We are at just about 10 till the top of the next hour. Liana, thank you for holding. What's up?
Hi, Hake. I wanted to get your opinion on something.
Okay. Did you hear us talking about you the other day? By the way, it's so distracting to me that I have to ask you.
Yes.
What did you think of us?
What do you mean?
Like what we said about you. I think that one guy said that you are
That I was a liberal?
infiltrating Bond, pretending to agree with Jesse and stuff.
Oh, I don't care about that stuff. It doesn't bother me.
Is there any truth to it or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand, and I think it's really rude.
Oh, okay. So you do think it's rude, and it's incorrect, but it doesn't bother you?
Yeah. No, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I mean, what are you going to do? People can do what they do. I went to the conference. Well, not the conference.
Yeah,
obviously,
people can't help
church.
their impression of you either.
Exactly. Yeah. None of you people know me.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't really care.
All right.
I went to Sunday. Speaking of that, it just reminded me. I went to Sunday after the conference.
Oh,
To
nice.
meet up with,
so you were over there in Orlando with us.
Yes.
Did I meet you?
No, I didn't. No.
Did you meet the other people?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your fiance come?
Yeah. He
Oh,
went
yeah.
to
You
the
said your
conference.
fiance went to the conference. Cool.
Yeah, him and a best friend of ours. They loved it.
Nice.
Yeah, they really liked it. So yeah, while I was there, I guess I'm not used to. The thing is, this is all new to me, and I guess I'm just not used to masculinity like that, you know? I don't know.
Like what?
Like some of the guys at the conference where they would yell out beta, or they would yell, you know, they would just, to me, it comes off as rude, but, you know, it's because, maybe it's just because I'm not a guy. I don't understand, you know?
Oh,
So.
I don't know. It might have, I don't remember people yelling out beta. It might or might not have been rude.
I thought, yeah, yelling out other things too, but.
Okay.
Just, yeah.
Or like slut?
No, nobody yelled out slut.
Okay, except for JLP.
Right.
To one of the other ladies, and I do mean lady.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, like I said, it's effective. It works. It's not.
You know,
pretty,
some people are a little bit do go overboard with that stuff. So who knows? They may or may not have been wrong, but that's their problem. So you weren't used to men shouting out.
No.
You're used to men being quiet and nice.
Yes, because every time when I've seen men get like that, it was in anger. And so I get defensive automatically. Just automatically.
Say that one more time. What makes you defensive automatically? Repeat that, what you just said.
When men get angry, because that's when men get, I guess, masculine. I mean, I'm from Brazil, so I'm used. I mean, my family, people I grew up with. I'm in Florida, so I mean, it's half Latino community and half American, so it's kind of weird. I'll admit, but
in Florida, the guys are nicer.
No, I wouldn't
and
say
in Brazil.
that. No. I wouldn't say that either. I just think it's the men that I'm around. You know, I'm around Christian communities, so a lot of the men in the Christian community, they're when you're out in public, I guess they don't really express masculinity in that way, in an aggressive way. Because every time they're aggressive, at least in my experience with the men I'm around, it's in anger, and I don't like that. You know, I get defensive automatically. So I know that about myself. I'm trying to be aware of that, but I'm just explaining. That doesn't mean I'm infiltrating. I'm just explaining.
Well, part of the reason that I gave credence to that guy who said that is that I know that oftentimes, and I'm saying oftentimes, I think I might mean always, women will take on a religion such as Christianity, and they'll embrace it or a version of it, and they'll be excited about it, and they'll think that they know it, and they'll start even sometimes preaching it, and they'll talk with other people like they agree with it. They will agree with their man or pretend to agree with their man, their boyfriend, their fiance, their husband, and then the husband, when he becomes her husband, the mask comes off, and then it's constant challenge. And so I think women in general are they're snakes. They're daughters of the serpent, and so they are not to be trusted. But still, you are nice.
And I understand that, and I understand how it can be perceived that way sometimes. But I also know that sometimes women know, like, we're not dumb. We know that that's the truth.
You know that women are like that? Snakes like that?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of female friends because of it, and it's really unfortunate. But it is what it is, and you try to work with it.
Do you see that in yourself?
There are some women like. I'm sorry?
Do you see that in yourself, or just in other women?
I definitely get thoughts like that. I definitely fell for a lot of feminist BS in the past, and but it's definitely possible to rise above that.
Yeah, it's not just feminism. Feminism is like a nasty form of it, but there's nice conservative Christian women who are like that too.
Yes, I know, and this is something that I've spoken with the people around me in the Christian community all the time. It's just I was born into this. I didn't have a choice.
You were born into what? into the church?
Yeah, you know, so I was raised like that. I didn't have a choice. I would talk to my mom and other people, my dad, other people about these things. Well, the Bible says this and this about women. Why does, you know, yeah, like, I mean, I think sometimes maybe you guys just say all women, and, you know, you have to remember not all, you know, because there's some women that are genuinely trying to seek the truth as well. And
trying is
I'm
different
not perfect.
Trying is different from actually doing it. A lot of women are trying, but they're still snakes. They can't help it.
Exactly. They can't help it though. So you can't.
But it doesn't mean you're not a snake just because you can't help it and you're trying.
Well, yeah, but those women need help, you know?
Right. That's why we help them by calling them snakes.
Men have a greater responsibility than women, right?
Huh?
I mean, that's what men have a greater responsibility than women.
But that's why we help them by calling them snakes. Do or do not. There is no try.
Right. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Like we're not. You guys are doing that, but not all. So I'm from an experience where that's not my experience. I didn't grow up with a father that did that. You know. So I mean,
you forgave him. You forgave your father for not holding you accountable or whatever. What didn't your father do? I lost track of what you're saying. What didn't your father do?
A lot of things. I don't want to, drag this on, but
just in short, just in one sentence or less, what didn't your father do?
He didn't protect me from these things,
From the.
And it's not just my mother; it's the school.
From the snakeness. Okay.
Environment. It's the whole environment.
Yeah, it's a very corrupting world.
He knows that.
So he didn't protect you from the corruption of the world or from your mother.
Right.
Okay.
And when I tell him these things, he thinks I'm retarded.
That's okay. Maybe are you?
I don't know. Am I? I hope not. I mean, I tell him, I had a conversation with him last week, and he literally thinks I'm dumb. He thinks, I told him this whole thing. He's just like, oh, just be careful. I don't know what David, my fiance, I don't know what you guys are talking about or what he's telling you or what's going on. Just be careful. I don't want you to be like those dumb women. Just, make sure you have your own money. Like, these are things he literally tells me,
I don't know.
The psychological indoctrination is real. Like, I mean, none of
that sounded that bad.
Wow.
From your father? Your father's told you those things? Be careful, because you're telling him. What are you talking to your dad about?
Because I told him, that I forgave him. I explained to him, the concepts about the whole environment. He agrees, and not protecting me from my mom, not calling her out when she's wrong, and just not being there. He was never there. He worked so much. I had no time with him at all.
Oh, okay.
When I was a kid, I had time with him, and then as I got older, when we moved here to America, he worked harder than ever before to give me what I never had, right? But it's very, very materialistic. Anyways, that's not why I called you. I don't know why you got me on this whole other topic. Stop asking me questions.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you the questions.
All right.
Please. So at my job, they are having us wear masks again. And before they were saying, well, whoever was vaccinated doesn't have to wear the mask, and whoever's not vaccinated has to wear the mask. And at that point, I was considering quitting because I'm not vaccinated. I've already gotten sick with COVID.
Right.
And I'm not going to get vaccinated. And so I already have someone in my family who's disabled now because of vaccines. So I know.
Because of this particular one or a different vaccine?
No, different.
All right.
So I was prepared to quit, but then they changed the whole, then they changed their mind and they said, well, we're going to just have everybody wear masks now, because at that point they're humiliating people who don't want to wear the mask to try to force them, you know?
Right.
And so, but now, I mean, FDA approved, right? The I think it was the Moderna vaccine.
Pfizer, BioNTech.
Oh, it was the Pfizer. Okay.
Yeah.
And so now a lot of employers are going to start considering mandating vaccines to their employees. And I mean, I've thought about just not wearing the mask at all at work.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want to overreact to it.
Yeah.
So I figured I would call and ask, because I'm sick and tired of wearing this mask.
I don't blame you on that. What's your fiance say?
He says that if I think that I shouldn't be working here anymore, then I shouldn't. And if I can, he basically says to do what you believe.
Yeah.
At this point, he doesn't have an opinion about it at this point. So he says, if you feel like you have to quit, then, because I'm financially stable. I have my own house. I sold another place because, I was renting, but now I'm not doing that anymore because of COVID. I don't know what kind of, restrictions they're going to be putting on landlords, and I just can't do it anymore because I almost lost both my houses last year because of these games, people not paying rent. And I mean, it's not their fault either. They lost their jobs. They're not essential workers, right? So they can't work, and it's a mess. So I sold the place. I'm good. I can quit. I can stay. I can do whatever I want. So I'm thinking, I don't want to wear this mask anymore.
See how far you can go. It sounds like you kind of want the job, though.
I mean, I do want it, obviously, because it I've been here for 6 years. I've it's promotions. It's people that I've worked with. I do enjoy my job. I like the people I work with. I've been here for a long time.
Then I suggest, Liana, just wait and see.
Right.
See how far you can get. Let them know, I guess, that you really don't want to wear the mask and you're not going to. And if they can't keep you, you understand, and thank you.
Okay.
It sounds like that's what you want. Definitely do what you want, of course, though.
Well, of course.
It also sounds like you don't even need this job, though. Because you just described to me that you're financially independent because of houses that you have and other stuff.
Yes, I've worked really hard. This country's amazing. I mean, I never would have thought that I would have had this at all, ever. That's
cool. That's nice.
Yeah,
don't do anything foolhardy and foolish.
Exactly. I don't know if the mask thing is petty of me to,
It's understandable not to want to have to wear it all day. I know some men who are forced to wear it all day, and they're going through it especially because they don't want to get the vaccine. Like you, I know some men who've gotten this supposed China virus, whatever it is, and they've recovered from it, and they're young men. They don't want to take the risk of taking this so-called vaccine. And so they're going through the hoops that they want them to go through, getting tested every day, not every day, every week or whatever, maybe even twice a week. And they're willing to suffer through it because he wants the job, he wants to keep it, he wants to wait and see what happens. And maybe he'll get fired, maybe he won't, but he's keeping a good attitude. So if you want to do that, and see what you're willing to go through.
Okay.
But keep a good attitude and don't get.
Because I did want to express. I didn't really want to quit because I thought that wait and see would be a better attitude for that.
Yep.
But at the same time, I'm getting so frustrated because
that's not good.
Of the situation. I know. So yeah, that's my dilemma. But I really want to be. They have this thing where you can mail in suggestions or complaints or whatever. So I was thinking of sending an email expressing what I think and how I'm not going to be wearing it anymore, because I think if the
is there someone that you
a lot of people.
Is there someone whom you respect and who respects you who will talk to you in person about your concerns? Because in person, I think, is much better than some email.
Well, I think
you
they
can
would
write it
speak to
too,
me.
because they need documentation and stuff like that. A lot of big companies want it in writing, but also try to meet in person.
Yeah.
I suggest, if they're trustworthy people, if they're people that you respect and like.
Yeah, I don't really know anybody like that, and the people that I speak to here, there's no
leadership
in
whom
HR.
you respect.
None of them are not in it. I mean, yes, and the people whom I respect, one of the person whom I respect has already stopped wearing the mask, and HR came and.
I'm talking about who's in leadership.
Yeah, and she's not wearing the
HR
mask
is
anymore.
human resources people, and human resources is politically correct. They're corrupt.
Exactly.
And they're infiltrated.
Exactly.
But maybe there's somebody decent in human resources. You never know. Maybe there's a light in a dark place. But
true.
You should stick with wait and see, and don't. And if you get frustrated, just know that you're wrong for being frustrated.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Liana. Take care.
Thanks.
All
Thank
right.
you. Have a good one. Bye.
It is 10:07 here in LA, guys. And I have to get to another Johnny Respect song, the last one for today. This track is called Broken Homes. Terrible. It's about divorce. So wrong. There's one line open, guys. I will get back to calls. And I will get back to super chats as well, and more stories, including the more details about the stupid OnlyFans thing. Hang tight, guys, for the rest of hour 2. Hope you enjoy this song, Broken Homes by Johnny Respect.
I saw you, I say the pain of facing one more day, another day to feel like you're alone. If I could change a million things, a million things would never change. To blame myself for something I did wrong when I'm not wrong. Helpless, I stood there pretending that I didn't care. I walked up with the ring of honor and I never feel love again. I once saw sunshine a million times before, and now the chapter in my life is founded and I'll never feel love again. I know it feels like you're alone in bed. If I someone, it's one who wants to work, I'll never be alone again. I see those 6,000 times, and that's the one amazing thing. You got a perfect sense of fair. I'll never be alone again.
Wasn't that great? Don't answer that. Yeah, divorce and remarriage is a big mess. That's, I think, what he was singing about, what they were singing about. Johnny Respect. Thank you, Johnny Respect. Shout out. Kabul airport so-called suicide attacks kill 13, wound 15, including 3 U.S. Marines. I see another report that says It's no Stay Together for the Kids by Blink-182, but it's decent, says Big Bum. Thank you, man. I don't know if I'm familiar with that one, Blink-182. That song, anyway. I saw another report from over there in TKR Official on Telegram. It said 4 U.S. Marines killed. I don't know. This is all sort of new news, and so whatever's going on, it's evil. And I heard that it's being blamed on ISIS. Who knows? Someone gave a super chat and said over there on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report, it was better than listening to the last caller. It says, wow, Mari Uvaldo says that. Woman on woman violence. Words are violent. Someone gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report and said, I'm sure their intention for weekly testing is to use this as propaganda against the unvaccinated once they report an outbreak, since so-called vaccinated can still catch and spread the virus but aren't required to get tested, at least not so much. Interesting point. Yeah, and it's also to make people, they're saying 4 Marines killed, people are saying. It is a fact, as somebody says. It's also to make people uncomfortable. You know, they're advertising and advocating these liberal female-minded old males who are in charge of the NIH and stuff. I'm reading 3 Marines injured too, but other people are saying other things. Who knows what the truth is? They're trying to make people uncomfortable, make it inconvenient. That's what they're doing with the droughts too. The droughts here in California, we have a drought going on, and we also have water mismanagement. We haven't built up our reservoirs, and so they said, the Lake Mead over in Arizona, Nevada, is at its lowest point. It's because of the drought and climate change. They're just over in, I like to go to Big Bear, you know? Over in Big Bear, we used to have the Big Bear Lake. It's a man-made lake. It's like a reservoir thing. It has a dam. There's no river to it, I don't think, because it's man-made. But it used to be a multi-part lake. And it used to be, you could fish way over here on like the east side. I'm pointing what I consider east, but east is actually that way. And it used to be full, and there used to be a nice boardwalk. There is still a boardwalk, but now it's just dry. They got rid of it, and I feel that they've gotten rid of it in order, not because, we're tied on, not because of climate change, but as part of the propaganda to make people be like, hey, look at how low the water is. The water's gone. We're in a big drought. Terrible. I think that it's for that reason. It's a puddle. Lake Mead, says Clovera. I think it's to make us hurt and see the effects of climate change and drought and, we need to clamp down. I don't think that it's as bad as that. I think they just want to make the people suffer so that the people cry out for, let's force these vaccines on the people and let's force these climate change measures. Let's stop this climate change stuff. When in reality, it's the politicians and the bureaucrats who are mismanaging everything, and then they're doing this on purpose, exploiting a crisis to control the people. That's my take. Fox News, Chiron, says 4 U.S. Marines killed. 3 injured. Yep, sure enough. We have Fox News up here. Thank you, man. Appreciate the heads up. Terrible. Flood and drought? James, you are the reason why COVID-19 is running around, because white people like you don't believe this COVID-19 kill people. Wear a mask. No, it'll kill the old elderly Trump supporters. That's why Cuomo sent them into the nursing homes. And by the way, blacks are not getting so-called vaccine either, dummy. Nor are the Hispanics. A lot of these normal people are not doing it. What a mess. Lines are full, guys. Let me quickly read this OnlyFans thing real fast. The far-left female-run outlet, The Skim, says OnlyFans is backtracking. OnlyFans, they say, I feel disgusting even mentioning the name, is a subscription-based platform that lets people sell or pay for content on its site. Some for free, others for a fee. It includes things like creative writing and dinner recipes. But it is best known for what the skim calls adult content, which is a misnomer. Nothing adult about it. It's pornography, which is naked stuff and sex stuff degenerate. Jesus said, if you look at a woman lustfully, you've committed adultery in your heart. But they're promoting that. That's a female mindset, female-minded culture. Get rid of all the shame. Pretend the shame isn't there. Since its launch in 2016, the UK-based you can't spell cuck without UK. UK-based OnlyFans has reached at least 130 million users and 2 million creators, soared in popularity during the scam-demic, reportedly raking in $375 million in net revenue last year. Expected to bring in $2.5 billion next year. Wow, it's ridiculous. Ill-gotten gain. What a shame. Exploiting the weak men. Last week, the site announced it would ban all sexually explicit content by October 1st. Now it's reversing course. Originally, the CEO blamed the ban on, quote-unquote, banks. One bank allegedly flagged and rejected OnlyFans wire transfers. There's also been reports that OnlyFans struggled to find investors. Some venture capital firms have even something known as vice clauses, forbidding them from investing in companies that deal with things like sex, listen to this, sex, drugs, or firearms. Excuse me, firearms is not a vice. Sex can be a vice, drugs can be a vice, firearms cannot be a vice. What a shame. Credit card companies may have had something to do with it. MasterCard, Visa, and PayPal already have cut ties with other adult sites, quote unquote, like Pornhub, amid reports of child abuse and rape on its platform. The ban sparked outrage among so-called creators and users who helped OnlyFans grow. Ill-gotten gain, exploiting the weak males, corruption. Yesterday, the company said it figured out the whole money problem. The planned ban's been scrapped. The company's being accused of hanging its content creators, meaning the degenerate females and others who are running the show over there or having shows over there, whatever. Many are saying it's not okay. They've brought the company success in tens of thousands of dollars. They take 20% of the profits made by creators. YouTube takes 30%. After the announcement, some reportedly lost hundreds of subscribers. Others started deleting the content that would have violated the policy. Good. And advocates fear that it could turn many creators away from the platform and towards riskier work options. Give me a break. Yeah, that's their reasoning for saying that it's wrong to outlaw prostitution because they're forced into the underground. They're forced into the black market. It's riskier. If you legalize it, then you can protect women. Give me a break. While the reversal is welcome news for creators and fans, people are still wary the company almost cost their primary source of income. Yeah, people are like buying houses and stuff over it. Like I said, ill-gotten gain, and the women are worse off for it. Not wife material, I'll tell you that much. The skim says sex work, they call it sex work, has moved to the online world in recent years and given many sex workers more agency, and control over how their content is made and shared. But it still faces an uphill battle in establishing legitimacy while combating stigma. Combating stigma. There should be a stigma because it's wrong. It should be a shame. What a shame. And it should be against the law because it's indecent. That's not First Amendment. First Amendment is free speech, right? And that's talking about telling the truth, freedom to tell the truth or to argue about what exactly the truth is. Not spread degeneracy and lies and corruption. What a terrible mess. Did you hear about it, Nirvana? Real fast, and then I will get to calls, I promise, guys. show this headline about Nirvana. It's NBC News thing. There's this guy. He should be ashamed to even show his name because he's naked on the cover of a Nirvana thing from when he was a baby, apparently. The far-left female run outlet The Skim says Spencer Eldon. Earlier this week, the 30-year-old so-called man sued Nirvana for alleged commercial child sexual exploitation. He was the naked baby on the rock band's famous 1991 album cover for their album Nevermind. Eldon, who's an artist, has recreated the image several times as a teen and adult. What a sicko. He's the one exploiting himself, but has recently said the album cover caused him emotional distress. Now he's suing for $150,000 in damages, not that much, saying the cover was produced as child pornography. And I blocked it out on that NBC News, because NBC, MSNBC, corrupt station, pro all that disgusting stuff, they didn't censor the little baby's parts. Neither did Nirvana, so that is kind of gross. His parents didn't authorize the image's release, according to him. So he's suing the band for child pornography 30 years later. Gross. I censored it. Azzmador, the historian, says anyone who argues that the intent of the founding fathers when writing the First Amendment was to protect pornography is a shameless liar. Yep, that's true. Didn't his parents let him be used like that? What the? Asks Joseph Gergelix. Well, according to him, his parents didn't authorize the image's release. Who knows? Petty. You know, I mentioned about HR departments. HR departments exist because inside of these huge companies, not just because the companies are corrupt and liberal and want to kiss up to the LGBT, BLM, scum of the earth people and females and POCs. No, it's not just because of that. It's because of something called anti-discrimination laws, lawsuits, sleazy lawyers / liars and corrupt liberal judges who do not belong even in America, much less the court system. They allow companies to be so-called sued for the imaginary evil called discrimination. It's not wrong to discriminate based on what's right. And so many times, I'm going to get the phone. So many times, over and over and over again, blacks will, the stereotype is that whites sue. It's a dumb stereotype from ignorant people. Blacks sue. And yeah, there's some fellow whites who sue. And there's occasionally a white who will sue. But for the most part, I grew up thinking suing was immoral. At least suing fellow Christians. But they're suing over this fake discrimination. Oh, you can't discriminate against me because I'm LGBT, or I'm black, or I'm a woman. False accusations from blacks, from women, from the gays. And they make up these fake hate things. They make up fake Me Too accusations. And then they sue. And so HR departments are supposed to protect them from it, but it's just appeasement. It's helping the enemy. So wrong. Man, I got to get to Art in Ohio. He's been on hold forever. Art, how are you doing?
What's up with my main man, Hake?
Not much.
The experts. What's up with you, man? And, this is Art, baby.
Indeed.
Ohio. Already. So check this out. Liana, you clearly don't watch my main man, Hake, on a daily basis, because you would definitely address me by my name on this show and come at me like a alleged brick wall that I am, like me, alpha men do. And just go ahead and
I forgot that you addressed Liana. I wasn't thinking of you specifically. I was thinking of some of the YouTube commenters and others who commented about her.
I addressed her.
Yeah, you did though.
And everything that I said was a fact, and she don't have no argument points against it. So the best thing for her to do was to agree. But just like a normal liberal, they don't like to agree with you because apparently I must sound too angry, or my toxic masculinity must be bleeding through this phone. But that's small talk. She wasted. The whole time she was on here, she ain't even filled the cup up, not even a quarter length. She ain't nothing she was talking about. What the problem is with Liana is, and with liberals like her is, she need to go talk to her alleged person that she's engaged to.
Yeah.
Stop being so comfortable with talking to other men
I
about
agree.
stuff that she could talk about in house. All the stuff that she talking about, that's something that she could talk to her significant other about. She don't need to be talking to another man about that. Long story short,
That's why I asked her what her fiance said.
Well, she need to go talk to him some more and figure out what he's saying. But obviously, he's not giving her that masculine energy that she needs. So she's going out and searching for it in other places, just like liberals do.
Dang.
So, man, we offer that.
Okay.
Then we want to go ahead and get on Kamala Harris. What are you talking about? Some Christmas stuff. That's all you got to worry about is Christmas? That's the last thing America need to be worried about is some Christmas. We shouldn't be worried about playing with no toys Christmas with all this stuff going on, let alone you got wintertime coming up and people don't know. I know what's up with this COVID nonsense, but a lot of people seem to not understand it's going in the wintertime, people getting the flu and these other common colds are going to be going into these hospitals. And I think they allegedly need to be prepared to understand that they better not be getting no vaccines in there because the hospitals are picking and choosing who they want to take up off this earth. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Kamala Harris is a big waste of time, and anybody who scammed for her and that other man, you're out of line.
Just so people know what you're talking about, maybe they already do, but Kamala Harris, cackling Kamala Harris, she's supposed to be the vice president, right? Under Sleepy Joe. She said, if you want your Christmas gifts, you want to have Christmas gifts for your children, now's the time to start buying because supposedly like global supply chains are gonna, I don't know, they'll be disrupted, right? For some reason, somebody told me why, but I forget what it was. She reportedly discussed Christmas and climate change, but didn't talk about Afghanistan. Over there in Singapore. What a mess. Nothing she says is sensible. Nothing at all. It ain't nothing but a drip to win in the cup every time she opens her mouth. She's a big joke. Yeah. My third thing I want to address is those 72 or how many ever doctors down there in Florida that said that they going to walk out because people are coming in that ain't getting vaccinated. Well, I thought y'all took an oath, and that's against the ethics of being a doctor. And I wonder how y'all feel about people that come in there with cancer and what else is something that people are coming there, gunshot wounds. So if y'all feeling this way, I can imagine how many people y'all are derelict of duty when y'all supposed to be treating them for these gunshot wounds that y'all like, oh, these Negroes just keep coming in here. It's the same dude that got shot last week, came in here again. We just going to let him die. I can imagine, I mean, any of them people that y'all don't let die on the operating table because you're getting tired of seeing them coming in there with some afros and long dreads. You know those doctors, are you talking about that walkout that was done and it was all publicized? And then later they said that wasn't a walkout. They came in, they did the demonstration before their job or after their shift, and they weren't walking out, but it was advertised as a walkout. And they didn't seem to protest being called by the mainstream media a walkout, even in in-person interviews with some pretty supposed female doctor who's talking about, oh, get the vaccine, it's safe and effective. It's so phony political stuff. Doctors are playing politics now. I don't know if they're not treating the unvaccinated. I don't know, but they are malicious people who are pro this so-called gun control, which is only going to make things worse. They're pro-abortion. They're not for what's right. They're weeding out the sensible male, whites, competent doctors. Anybody who knows that, all this vaccine hype is not the final solution, or I don't know, maybe that's not the right word. But all this vaccine hype we need people to be healthy. And it's so shameful.
Yeah. Hey, and shout out to the man. Let me get a shout out to all my peoples up in the chat, man. I love that chat room, man.
Nice.
It's it be going up in that Hake chat room, man. And my fourth thing is I went up to this little temp agency, and all I seen when I was going up in this temp agency is Africans, East Indians, and they all wearing masks.
Wow.
And I seen like one American, and I'm the only one in there without a mask. So I can imagine how I walk and how I talk and how I stand, and with me not having no mask on, that they can tell that I'm an alpha, and more than likely the people in there just trying to do the hiring, they're liberals. So that's a way for them to be able to discriminate on people, the ones, the alphas between the betas and the liberals,
Yeah.
the ones that they want to hire because they've been able to pick and choose by how you come in, and they're able to distinguish whether you part of the Democratic Party or you a conservative, or whether you believe in the vaccine or whether you don't. So that gives them room to be able to discriminate on you or whatnot. And the sad part about Liana and a lot of these other liberal females that they seem to keep on and voting in these Democrat scammers is that y'all voted for this. So now that my house is on fire, oh, well, forget my house. I don't need no sympathy. But I expect you to feel the same way when your house is on fire. But see, the problem is with me and you is I'm going to bounce back. You ain't. You see what I'm saying?
Interesting, man. Yeah. Good for you, man.
Then,
that's cool.
Well, I just go to make that point or whatnot because
Are you getting work? Are you getting work that way?
Am I getting work that way?
Yeah, because you said you went to a temp agency. That's for getting work, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting work that way?
Well, I'm waiting for them to call me back, but I don't suspect that they will, because just like I said, you can tell how I interact, how I walk, and how I talk, and especially without me wearing a mask. And I haven't never wear no mask, and I definitely dang sure ain't getting no vaccine.
Well, I would think that a sensible employer would want someone like you who's responsible and not just a blind follower.
Why would you think that? Why would you think if we see all this political liberal nonsense and most of the people that's running these corporations are liberals, why would you think they want an alpha to come and spread truth? Liberals don't like the truth. Why would you think they?
What do you mean spread the truth? But you're going there to work, right?
Yeah, well, we know that.
So if I were an employer, there are many employers who aren't liberals because there's like temp agencies are often used by small businesses too, I think, right? Or no?
You said no. I don't.
Is it bigger? Is it bigger companies? I don't know, man.
Well,
so
I would have suspected it'd be more bigger companies because
they
hired a temp agent to look for their workers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And,
so maybe you should play beta so that you can get a job or get more work.
Well,
if you're wanting that.
Well, that's the problem. The same problem that I had with something that Killian said is that you can go pay the doctors $50 and say that they gave you a vaccine.
Right.
No. I shouldn't have to do that in America.
I know.
I shouldn't have to.
I agree.
I shouldn't have to pay. That's like somebody at Mexico paying the dirty police to let them cross over into Mexico.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have
We're turning into Mexico. You're so right about that.
I shouldn't have to pay for that. That's against my constitutional and my civil rights. I shouldn't have to pay y'all to tell the truth. You see what I'm saying? Y'all should do that just because. And if you scared that you a doctor and you scared or whatnot that you might contract the vaccine, contract the virus, then you don't need to go to work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't need to be trying. And if you feel like you got to force people to be to do stuff that they don't want to do, you shouldn't be in public. You need to stay home until you feel comfortable with coming out and being around society.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna say one more thing with this military, and I'm gonna get up off this phone. What America's doing with this military, you got a lot of military to feel like I am, and you turning the military against you, just like you turning your American people, your citizens against you. And we already see that with the stuff that's going on in Afghanistan, because you don't care about them. You over there trying to leave them over there and worried about bringing Afghan people over here instead of the citizens. And the equipment. You left all that equipment. I was looking at
it's ridiculous.
100 airplanes, like tanks, guns,
Yeah.
Whole bunch of stuff. You let all that, and it's the same nonsense that the Democrats push. They keep funding the same people that you're supposed to be fighting against.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Art, man. It's great to hear from you. Good luck to you.
Always good to talk to you. Hey, tell Nick I said happy birthday, baby.
Is it his
and then
birthday?
We still hey, we gonna rep his birthday just like we did yours, man. And,
Is it his birthday though? I haven't heard that it's his birthday. Is it? His birthday's in May.
Oh, what? Well, happy birthday again.
Nice.
We gonna reset it and then tell Chris I said what's up, man. I appreciate him too.
I will.
heard him on Jay. He always spitting that good stuff, and we still rolling with Trump, and we ain't gonna never stop rolling with Trump. And we love Father God, and we put good over evil, and we gonna stand for what's right. And if a fight gotta come behind that, you can get the fight too. But God bless you, my brother, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay, Art. Thank you, man. Take care. Speaking of that commie virus. The far-left female-run outlet The Skim says Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine got its full FDA approval, as you know. But as part of its full FDA approval, the vaccine's getting a name change. It's going to be called Comirnaty, a combination of COVID-19 immunity and mRNA. Somehow that makes sense. And by the way, Krispy Kreme, you know the donut shop, the liberal donut shop? Is doubling its free donut giveaway to those who have been so-called vaccinated. And this far-left females at The Skim say that it's sweet. Psh, shameful. I'm hoping to talk briefly about Owen Shroyer, but I want to get to at least one more call before I do that. The lines are full, guys. I got Samuel in Sweden wanted to talk, and Dabbin in New Mexico, and T in Alabama, and Rick in Maine. But first, Jeremiah in Louisiana. He's been on hold forever and wants to talk to me. Jeremiah, thank you for holding, man. What's up?
What's up, man?
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing fine, thank you. Thanks for holding, man. Again.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
Happy Men's History Month, man.
Oh, thank you. Happy Men's History Month to you as well.
Yeah.
And a belated happy White History Month.
May the best man win. I just want to start off by saying the other day, Omar did own you, man. He did. He really did.
Really?
He sound like one of my brothers, yeah.
You actually think that nutty person, possibly
Absolutely.
mentally ill, definitely spiritually
Absolutely.
ill, son of a Nigerian.
He owns you.
And he's
He
friends with our friend Nathan.
He owns you.
And he just talked about a bunch of nonsense about, oh, you're a white supremacist because you believe victimhood is
he
wrong.
talked about a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
And the stuff you talk about is nonsense.
Okay.
He owns you. I'll just let you know.
Omar.
Anyway,
Omar from Fullerton.
Yeah, shout out Omar, man. You need to call back because you owned him.
Call back. Okay. Interesting, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And you are a black Hebrew Israelite.
No, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Black is a color. Just like you're pink.
And you're black.
You're a pink Caucasian.
No,
so
I'm white.
From Caucasus Mountains. So
I'm white, and I don't know about any Caucasus Mountains.
On to my question.
All right.
Why do you and people like you disrespect slavery?
I do not disrespect slavery. I hold it in high regard. I respect slavery. I respect the slave masters, and I respect the slaves.
That's what you respect.
Yeah.
That's what you respect. You do not.
I respect people.
The slaves.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, because the slaves, many of the slaves were better men than you or me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they suffered indignity. They had dignity about them. They worked. They became Christians. They loved their masters. They treated their masters with respect, and they treated one another with respect. And they had families, and they worked, and they had good ethics and morals, and they became Christians. And even if they couldn't read, many of them I don't think could read. Many whites couldn't read. They were yet wiser than many of us today, and more moral.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I respect the slaves.
So
some of them were evil. So, there was this one guy, Nate, something like that. He led some
Nat.
slave revolt. Nat
Yeah.
Turner or something dumb
See,
guy.
that's what I'm saying. You do disrespect.
I
the
should
slaves.
disrespect an evil. Shouldn't I
A lot
disrespect
of
evil?
stuff that you just said, a lot of stuff that you just said is misconstrued. You misunderstand a lot. Either you do it I think you do it purposely.
No,
You really
man,
do.
I'm dead serious.
There's no way.
I learned in
no
school.
way you could believe what you honestly.
Let me
just
tell
said.
you. Let me tell you. I learned in school that there were good and
Where
bad.
did you go to school? Did you go to school in California?
Of course, Gidley Elementary
That's
School in
wicked.
El
It's
Monte,
wicked over there.
California.
It is wicked. It has been wicked over there for the past I don't know how long.
Liberal, yes,
so
but it wasn't so bad when I was
the homeless rate. I bet you have like homeless people right outside y'all's studio, don't you?
We
What do y'all do for them?
we keep them. We send them packing. They have to go at least a block away. But anyway, man, let me finish my point.
Even your
You're changing the
Esau
subject
brethren.
like Maze. Are you Maze's niece? I mean nephew.
No, you changed the subject. You
No,
definitely-
you
changed
brought
the
up
subject. I'll
slavery.
just do what you do. I'll
Hold
just do
on,
what
man.
You do. Yeah, because you disrespect the slaves.
No,
you
listen to
respect
this.
The slave master. You respect the overseers.
Yes, definitely,
You
of
do
course.
not respect the slave.
Do
And
you
what
do
you
you
just said
not
about the
respect?
slaves,
Hold on, let me
you
finish. Let me
honestly
go back
can't
to my
believe
point,
that.
man,
And
because
if
you keep
learned
on
that in
talking.
California,
I'm gonna put him on
you
hold. I'm
definitely
gonna put him on hold.
You're wicked. California is very wicked.
I get you. I get you. Now, I haven't put him on hold yet. When I was in school, elementary school, I learned that there were, in a manner of speaking, good and bad slave owners. Some treated their slaves decently, and some may have been more cruel or something. But there were good and bad slave masters. What did you learn in school? How old are you?
I'm sorry. I actually, you kind of broke off a little bit. I'm 33.
33. And did you learn that there were good and bad slave masters in America?
No, I didn't.
Does common sense tell you that there were decent and indecent slave masters? Common sense.
No. Common sense tells me that the slave master was doing everything to keep their plantation, their money going.
True, but they were decent about it, right? There were some decent ones about it, right?
No.
Wow, so you're unreasonable.
It may have been people. It may have been people trying to do good for the slaves. You would call them liberals, but they weren't slave masters. Slave masters were doing everything that they in their power to keep their slaves, so they can keep free labor going, so they can keep making their money. You said the other day that the South was poor. How was the South poor and they had free labor for over 200 years?
Because the way that Dinesh D'Souza described it, the American historian Dinesh D'Souza,
Can you stop laughing? Because that laugh is very corny. It's like
well, stop judging me, woman.
It's like a nervous laugh.
Stop
like
judging me, woman.
Esau laugh.
Stop judging me like a female.
And it's like a corny. It's like
put him on hold. So where was I? What was I answering? What was your question again, Jeremiah?
Why do you disrespect the slaves?
No, that wasn't your question most recently. Because I don't disrespect the slaves. You're lying.
So what you just said wasn't disrespectful?
No, you don't even remember your question.
Returning to Christianity.
I remember what I started to say. I put him back on hold. I started to say that Dinesh D'Souza, because he asked me how the South was poor. He didn't realize that the South is poor. The South is poor because there were only very few people who owned slaves, and they were not paying their slaves. So the slaves, it's kind of like socialism, is slavery, and it's just you don't see the rewards for your work necessarily. That's why I say slavery may not be ideal, but they had the right to own their slaves. So this person is a blind person, and he doesn't see reality. He can't even reason that there were decent people within that system, even if let's pretend it was an evil system. I don't know. I'm not convinced that it was an evil system. But there were decent people even within that. And now he's using anti-white language, saying, can you not laugh like an Edomite? What a sick person, Jeremiah.
Okay, so you learned that over on the west side, the west coast. You're not in the
It's
South,
a matter
so
of common sense, too.
Now,
you lack common sense. You lack reasonableness.
You may be talking about there weren't decent slave owners, no. But there were slave owners that they took it a little bit lighter on their slaves than the diabolical slave owners. That may be what you mean by decent, but if that's your term, if that's your ideal of decent, then that's why you're Esau. That's why you have.
You lack morals, so you don't even understand
you
decency.
Lack common sense. You definitely lack practical knowledge.
Huh?
It's definitely it's obvious. But anyways, like I said, you disrespect.
Do you
slaves,
propose?
that's okay.
Do you propose?
said,
I have a question for you.
I
have a question for you from the chat. Does the caller propose that Nat Turner murdering white babies in their cribs are you saying that that's not evil?
Well, what happened? Didn't the slave owners murder millions of babies?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that slave owners tended to murder babies. Are you proposing? Answer the question. Answer the question, snake. Answer the question, you snake. Do you propose that Nat Turner murdering white babies in their cribs? You saying that that's not evil?
He did the same thing as those Edomites did.
So you saying is that evil for the Edomites to do that
for over 200 years? No,
was that evil?
Yes, it was.
So then Nat Turner was evil because he did the same as the people he hated.
What you sow. You reap what you sow.
Nat Turner was evil then. Let me hear you say it.
What are you going to reap?
Let me hear you say it. Nat Turner was evil.
Nat Turner was not evil.
Okay, goodbye, buddy.
Same thing that his Edomites did.
Goodbye, buddy.
Why do you have to hang up?
Because you're ridiculous.
You're a female. You're a female.
No, you're just calling me a female because I called you a female.
You are like a coward.
I'm not a coward. You just said that the Edomites killing babies is evil, but Nat Turner killing babies is not evil.
Can you deal?
You make no sense. You're inconsistent.
How do I not make sense?
Because you say that Nat Turner killing babies is not evil, but Edomites doing it is. What a snake!
The Edomites started it.
You're such a phony.
The Edomites started it.
Oh yeah, and then the blacks followed right along with it.
You just expect,
and you became what you hated. You are what you hate.
You just expect us to keep singing him.
You are what you hate.
You just expect us to keep being sympathetic to you, huh? Like today.
That's why I respected the slaves.
Like Lord Grimm, like William Bowser. That's what you expect. You expect us to just keep quiet and just keep doing what you say, huh?
No.
Obey you, huh?
Lord Grimm thinks for himself. You don't.
Old dude yesterday. Like you said, old dude yesterday. You just obey them and call them what they want to be called. So we're just supposed to obey you. We're just supposed to obey you.
If you are an employee or a slave, yes, you obey.
Well, you're a slave.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You obey.
You're breaking
your
up.
Slave master?
You're breaking up.
Do you obey your slave master?
Indeed.
No, you don't, because you talk a lot of stuff about right now. You talk a lot of stuff about the government right now. You don't obey them.
The government is not my slave master.
Is your slave master?
No, Jesse Lee Peterson is my slave master.
You tell your chat. and he goes against the government.
No.
And Jesse Lee Peterson.
He is a slave of Christ.
Y'all tell each other.
Jesse Lee Peterson is a slave of Christ. His big brother.
The slave in this world of the world. The government is your slave master. Who do you pay taxes to, Jesus or the government?
Jesus.
So you're a slave? No. Jesus said, give back to Caesar what is Caesar's. That's your slave master is the government.
Okay, you're quoting Jesus and pretending that I'm wrong for it. You're pretending that I'm wrong for doing what Jesus said. You make a lot of sense, buddy.
Is the government.
All right, buddy. You're breaking up, man. Obama.
You're breaking up. It really is. You really are.
Okay. Well, thanks for the call, man. It's nice to talk with you again.
Hold on, I wasn't done. Give me a few more seconds.
Okay, a few more seconds. Keep it clean.
All right, so for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and you shall be cut off forever. And the day that thou stoodest on the other side. Didn't you say that we shouldn't celebrate the fall of your empire?
Yeah, even the Bible says. Even the Bible says, do not rejoice in the suffering of your enemies. Love your enemies.
Okay, so
your enemies are not even me. I'm not even your enemy.
Yeah,
but
you are.
I'm your best friend, but you don't even know it. Because to the blind person, an enemy looks like the friend, and the friend looks like the enemy. You're a sucker.
This is talking about Edom.
Right? I gotta go, man. That's a few more. That's more than a few more seconds.
Just 1 second. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I'm too nice. I'm too nice.
30 seconds. All right. Thank you. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of my brother of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
So you've become what
Edom
you hate. You have become what
Edom
you hate.
Edom has
You
been
have
doing it
become
since
what
the
you
Old
hate.
Testament. Y'all have been rejoicing in our calamity and our atrocity.
All right,
since
goodbye.
the day,
Goodbye, buddy.
Since
That's not true. I got to get to Samuel in Sweden. Thank you for calling, Jeremiah. I had to keep on going. Samuel in Sweden, man, thank you for calling and holding. What's up?
Yeah, everything is well.
Nice.
And I just wanted to share something that I kind of grown to realize and see clearly in my life. And that's expectations. That's about expectations. So expectations is evil. And there's two ways, we meet them. First, we meet them when people around us have expectation on us. And if we don't live up to the expectation, they hate us. So that's, and like I started to notice people when I didn't live up to people's expectation, I didn't do, certain things, people got mad. I'm like, I just live my life. I'm just doing my thing. And you get mad at me because you had expectation.
Yeah.
And then I could see it in my own life that I also around me had expectation of certain people, And when that expectation broke, I was upset. And I look, because I live by seeing, I do silent prayer, very important. I could see that in my life and I can't have a single expectation. It will bring me down. It really makes you, expectation come from Satan, to put it blunt.
I think you're right about that, man. That's cool. I like that observation or whatever it is, that principle. Thanks, man.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Happy Men's History Month to you. What's that?
Yeah, the same. Continue the good work.
Thank you,
Right on,
man.
brother.
You as well. Take care, Samuel, and I'll talk to you again.
Nice. Thanks.
All right. Bye. Dabbin in New Mexico. I got to try to plow through Dabbin in New Mexico before I get to Owen Shroyer. Dabbin, what's up?
What's going on?
Nothing much. What's going on with you?
Hey, I'll keep this really quick because I know the show is about to be ending. But
cool.
I'll give you a hint as to who I am as to my online alias.
Okay.
It's on Streamlabs. I'm the one who you censored / canceled. Remember that?
I censored / canceled you on Streamlabs?
Yeah, sometime last week I said something that made you blush. Remember?
Oh, hey! This is Jib Jab. What's up, man?
No.
Is it Jib Jab?
I was just trying to lay a little low, though. It's all good, though.
Man, it's good to hear from you.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys know if you're going to be having the men's conference sometime in the future back in California? Or you don't? It's hard to tell right now.
I don't know. I don't know what the plans are. You would plan to come to the men's conference again if it were in California?
Yeah, it's just something about California that I really love, and I know everyone hates it because it's liberal and what have you. But I mean, I love I just love the place. Santa Monica beaches and it's a beautiful place to be. But I mean, as far as people, I just try to put that aside. And
same here.
It don't really bother me too much. But anyways, man, I'll let you go, and you probably got more callers and stuff to do. So, anyways, I'm glad you're doing. Your show is really taking off, man. I haven't spoken to you in a minute, but your show's man, you really blown up, man. In the past few years, like you just taken off, man. And it's just funny. It's cool to see like where it's going and everything, man. So it's exciting.
Well, that's cool, man. I appreciate it. I respect you. It was great to meet you and the others when you came to Cali. What was it, 3 years ago? Or maybe it's 2 years ago. Yeah, 2019. And I appreciate your support on Streamlabs and your appearance. You're keeping up with the Twitch over there. And you're always a positive contribution to the snake pit over there in the chat. So I appreciate that, man.
No problem, man. I'll let you go. Have a nice day.
All right. You too, Dabbin.
Bye. Later. Bye.
So Rock Climber gave a couple of super chats and said, one of my favorite Jesse moments with a caller, Jesse says, do you drink? Black caller says, do I drink at times? Jesse asks, have you been drinking today? Caller says, have I been drinking today? Nah, not really. Interesting, Rock Climber. Rock Climber also says, Jeremiah took it up there. Oh, Jeremiah, look it up. There has been more abortions in the black community than there was deaths lost to slavery. Indeed. And why would slave masters be killing babies, especially the whites who are not actually Edomites? Brandon M says, James or Hake, whenever Jeremiah calls you an Edomite, you should call him a child of Ham. And also, Asmodor says, oh no, somebody else said something about the Edomites were really I don't know. The Edomites were really descendants of Shem. They were Semites. That's what I thought I heard. Sem, Ham, and Japheth, right? I don't know. But, you know, the black Hebrew Israelites, everybody gotta, since they don't have their real fathers and real God and real identity, they grope around in the darkness for a sense of identity, whether it's in some gang or other, or some fake religion thing, or some identity. Oh, we was Kangs. What a shame. By the way, my appearance on the Crypto Report from, I believe it was in February a year or two ago, is uploading on Asmodor's Odyssey channel right now. Nice. Thank you, man. Thanks for the tip. I'll update my blog post to include a link to that. Because the link to the Daily Stormer post, I think that's defunct now. I think it's defunct, but I still have it on archive.is. But anyway, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, real fast, let me play this Owen Shroyer clip. This was Jesse Lee Peterson's encouraging words for Owen Shroyer and all of us, all of you, everyone. This was from last Friday on the War Room, because they're coming down hard on Owen Shroyer. They've arrested him, or they put out a warrant for the feds, the corrupt feds, who should be arresting themselves. But there's this federal judge who says the events on January 6th were an attack on the foundation of our democracy. This Muslim judge who is overseeing, I guess, what the DOJ is going after Owen Shroyer about. Well, listen to this clip from Jesse Lee Peterson from this past Friday on InfoWars' War Room. Just a brief clip, a couple of minutes long. Jesse Lee Peterson sharing some wisdom for the people amid these evil times. I hope you enjoy this.
And that's why I don't want you to worry, because there are men and women, but especially men, who are waking up and they are seeing the reality of what's going on. And we haven't lost our country yet, so we cannot give up. And one great secret that I want to give to everybody, because I counsel with men and women around the world every day, is that when situations happens, don't overreact. Be still so you can see how to overcome it. Your first response should be to be still, not overreact, not believe what your thoughts are telling you about the situation. Oh, it's not going to work out. You're going to be destroyed. Don't believe it. Have a wait-and-see attitude. And in stillness, all things are possible. There's nothing you cannot overcome when you be still and deal with it daily. But if you overreact, then you're going to lose. And that's what they're expecting you to do, to overreact so that they can destroy you. But we must learn to be still and deal with everything with stillness, and you cannot lose. So I want people to realize that, because too many people, especially men, are emotional. They live in their head. They don't realize that every thought is a lie. That's why God said, bring every thought into captivity, and that his voice is a quiet, still voiceless voice. He revealed to you, Satan taught to you. So if you could doubt every thought, you can't help but have faith in God, and he will guide you through every situation. So I want to say to the folks too, stop overreacting, be still and overcome rather than overreacting and being destroyed. That's not the way to go. And I want you to know, man, we love you, and whatever we can do for you, we're here for you. Don't hesitate.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, when I saw the images that came out from the men's conference, I was just so excited to see it was another big success for you. This tradition continues every year. It gets bigger and bigger.
Nice, huh? That's cool. Great advice. Anyway, T and Rick and Scott and Jamie and the rest of the callers, I cannot get to you. We are overtime. TheHakeReport.com. I heard that Owen was back yesterday. Is that true? I guess he's out. Is he out? But he's still facing the charges, fake charges. Pray for Owen. Pray for America. Pray, pray, pray without ceasing. Thanks, guys. Take care.